So I'm going to tell you something that will completely change the way that you manifest money. And more importantly, it's something that you need to hear if you're actually serious about changing your financial situation. Because believe it or not, the reason that you struggle around money has nothing to do with your circumstances, has nothing to do with your job or the economy. It doesn't even have anything to do with how much money that you make. And I'm going to prove it to you in this video. And not only will I prove this to you, I'm actually going to give you a specific process to follow that will completely shift your entire money situation starting right now. Now, before you roll your eyes or think that this is too good to be true or just another YouTube video on money, I really want you to commit to this and stick with me because what I'm about to share with you is actually backed by brain science and psychology. This is real, it's simple, and it's practical information that actually works. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But really quickly, before we get into this video, if you're new here, let me introduce myself. I'm Mary Kate, and I'm a mindset coach and manifesting expert focused on getting you transformational results. Here on my channel, I pride myself in making manifestation make sense without all of the unnecessary confusion. And my whole channel is all about manifesting the law of attraction with meditations and more. And I post brand new videos every single Wednesday, so be sure to subscribe and also hit that bell notification so you can get notified whenever I post a new video. And really quickly, go ahead and hit that little thumbs up button below if you are ready to finally understand why you've been stuck financially and if you're ready to fix it. Now, let's get into it. So, why exactly are you struggling to manifest money? Because here's the truth that most people probably just don't want to hear. You're still struggling because you have a struggle identity. It's not a struggling bank account, it's a struggling identity. And that right there, there's a huge difference because your identity is how you see yourself at your core, and your whole life operates around it. It's the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. And here's what's happening. Every single day, you're reinforcing this broke identity without even realizing it. And you're doing this through your thoughts, through your words, through your actions, and even through your focus. So let me give you some examples of what I mean. When you're walking down the street and you see something you want to buy, what is the first thing that pops into your head? I can't afford that. Or maybe when someone suggests going out to a really fancy restaurant, what's your first immediate thought? Oh, that's too expensive for me. And when you think about your financial goals or the amount of money that you want, what comes up for you? Maybe doubt or fear, or even a list of all of the reasons why it won't work for you. And when you see somebody else with money, what do you think? Things like, oh, they're so lucky, or must be nice, or they probably inherited it, or it was handed to them. So do you see kind of what's happening here? You're constantly telling yourself a story about being broke or not having enough money based on these default thoughts that you're not even thinking about. Your brain's kind of telling you, and your subconscious is listening to every single word. And here's the thing, your subconscious doesn't judge what you're telling it, it just accepts it as true and then creates more evidence to support that story. So if you keep telling it that you can't afford certain things, it's going to make sure that you know that you can't afford things. If you keep telling it money is hard to come by, it will make money hard to come by. And if you keep telling it you're not good with money, you will continue to not be good with money. It's a never-ending cycle that's constantly limiting you, and until you're aware of it, it keeps happening. And now here's where it gets really interesting. Your identity doesn't just affect your thoughts and your feelings about money, it also affects your actions. When you have a struggle identity, you make struggle decisions. You do things like focusing on saving and gripping onto money for fear that it won't come back or that you'll lose it. Or maybe you buy cheaper things that break and then cost you more in the long run. Or you avoid investing in yourself or taking chances because it's too risky. Maybe even staying in jobs that underpay you because at least it's steady. You might not even ask for raises or promotions because who am I to ask for more? And here is the most common one. You see opportunities and immediately think of all of the reasons why it won't work for you, without even questioning if it might work for you. You don't notice abundance sometimes when it's right in front of you because there's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system. And what it does is it filters information and it sets to look out for information that supports your identity. So it literally filters through opportunities and possibilities and evidence and pulls your focus towards what you actually believe, how you're operating from your identity. It's kind of like having selective hearing, but in this case for money. It might be right in front of you, but you can only hear it from the perspective of your mind. So how do you fix this? How do you change an identity that's been years, possibly even decades in the making? Well, the good news is that your brain is incredibly adaptable, and you can actually start shifting your identity right now. And fair disclaimer, when I say right now, I'm not saying you're going to become a millionaire in the next 10 minutes or overnight. I mean, anything's possible, but what I mean is you can actually start the process of rewiring your brain to see yourself differently. And when you start to see yourself differently, that's when everything changes. So let me share a really quick and simple identity shift process. And let me tell you, this works amazing. So step 1 is to become aware, become awake. No more autopilot. It's time to notice all of your thoughts and default responses to everything in your daily life regarding money. Every time you think, I can't afford it, stop and notice it. Every time you have a thought of, oh, that's too expensive, notice it. Every time you think, oh, I don't have enough, notice it. Notice all of your default responses around money. And I don't want you to judge these thoughts. I don't want you to try and change them right away. The first step is to notice them. It's evidence. It's evidence of where your brain is at. And most people have no idea how often they think these struggle thoughts until they're aware of them. You really might be shocked at just what you discover and how often you have them. And if you want to, if you're kind of like a visual learner, go ahead and write them down. The goal is simply awareness for this step 1, because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. And then I want you to move into step 2, and this is investigate. This is the step that I personally think makes the biggest difference. So I want you to dig deep and ask yourself these questions and then really find out the answer. So where did you learn that money was hard to come by? Where did you learn that? You weren't born with it. What did your family teach you about money growing up? And what is the earliest memory that you have of feeling like there wasn't enough money? What story have you been telling yourself about why you can't have money? And honestly, better yet, instead of having to write all of this down, I'm going to go ahead and link my money manifesting workbook. This is completely free. It has a lot of these similar questions. I'm going to link it up here, and I'll also link it down below for you so that you can download it and go through and really dive deep and answer these questions for yourself. I know that this workbook works because tens of thousands of people have gone through this workbook with incredible results. It really helps you find and then clear the money blocks, and it helps you kind of figure out where your identity around money was formed. And there's lots of experiments and exercises. It is gold. Go ahead and download your copy. It's totally free. But digging deeper and finding out where these beliefs came from isn't going to be about blame or shame. It's really just about understanding where this struggle identity came from so that you know what you need to start shifting and you can change it. Because honestly, most of our money beliefs were formed before we were even 7 years old. And we've been carrying them around ever since, without questioning whether or not they're actually true. So then we're going to move into step 3, which is to change your mind. This is the fun part. You're going to change your mind. Instead of thinking thoughts like, I can't afford it, you're going to practice thinking, how can I afford it? I could afford it. Instead of thinking, oh, that's too expensive, you're going to start thinking things like, that's an investment in myself. And instead of, oh, I don't have enough, you're going to think, there's more than enough resources available to me. If I want it, I can have it. And I want you to write down at least 10 new thoughts that you have about money that actually feel true and resonate with you. I don't want you to write down affirmations that feel fake or ridiculous or disconnected, but write down things that you can believe that stretch you just slightly. And we're going to use this in step 4. So step 4 is the identity activation. And for the last bit of this process, you are going to activate your new identity. So every time one of these old struggle thoughts come up, you're going to immediately replace it with one of your new thoughts that you wrote down in step 3. This is a pattern interruption, and it's honestly one of the fastest ways to start rewiring your brain. But here's the key. You have to catch the old thought before it fully forms. So the moment you notice yourself starting to think, I can't afford that, I want you to stop and redirect to, how can I afford it? Those moments where you catch yourself thinking, oh, that's too expensive, I want you to redirect it to, that's an investment in myself. The things that you wrote down in step 3. This takes practice, but I'm telling you, this is the work that actually works incredibly fast. You are starting to create new neural pathways in your brain. And if you want to kind of add an extra little bonus into this without actually doing anything at all, I want you to start using the 24-hour money experiment subliminal. You literally just put it on and go about your day doing chores, walking the dog, reading, sleeping, doing the things that you already do on a daily basis, and just listening to it in the background, because it actually works to program your subconscious mind while your conscious mind is distracted. This is one of the easiest and most effective things you can do because it doesn't require you to do anything except press play and do the things you're already doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and link that subliminal up here, and I'll also link it down below for you to go ahead and try out. And this process that I shared is really gonna start shifting how you see yourself and how you show up in the world. It's gonna affect kind of every aspect of your life. And that shift right there is what creates real changes in your financial life. Because when you can change your identity, you change your actions. And when you change your actions, you change your results. And when you change your results, you change your life. I have seen this happen over and over and over again. And people who do this work start noticing opportunities that they never saw before. They start taking actions that they maybe never would have taken. Or they start reaching for or asking for things they never thought was possible. And in doing that, their financial situation starts to shift for the better. And it's not because of magic or luck, it's because they changed how they see themselves. And the world responds to that change. So make this identity work a daily practice, because your old struggle identity didn't form overnight, and a new abundant identity probably won't either. It takes practice, it takes time, it takes consistently seeing yourself differently to create that lasting change. And if you want more tools to help you with this work, I have some resources that will really accelerate your process. So you can use that 24-hour money experiment subliminal. You can use that money workbook that I linked. I also have a money series playlist that I'm gonna link down below. It has tons of free money training, subliminals, meditations. Everything will be linked down below. But do yourself a favor and commit to this work fully. Don't half do it. Don't skip steps. Do the work, because your results depend on it. That's the truth. And you deserve to live a life where money isn't a constant source of stress and struggle. You deserve to have more than enough. And it all starts with changing how you see yourself. I want you to go ahead and comment down below if you'll be trying this out. I read through pretty much all of the comments. I love hearing from you. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so you can get notified whenever I post a new video. You can also find me over on Instagram and TikTok and Threads. And if you want to learn more about me, my programs, how to work with me, and more, you can visit my website at mkmagicmindset.com. And I will see you in the next one.